So up first, one of our regulars, ARIAN. He's come straight from the building site. How you doing, mate?
I'm actually going to work, not coming from work. But look, man, I'm pretty happy. Very happy with that performance. I was actually a little pessimistic before I saw the starting 11. Before seeing the starting 11, I actually, for the first time in my life, under Ange, went into a game thinking, this game has me scared, man. I feel like I can't see where we got. And then I saw Bentinck on the team sheet. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Now that was the lifeline. And I know that we probably actually played our best football once he got off the field. But I don't think that had anything to do. I don't think that had anything to do with Bentinck himself, you know.
No. There was a period of time where he wasn't even like, you know, moving fast. He was just like stepping lightly. He was like, okay, he's just trying to get to 60, you know. You
could tell that he was kind of brought in to help not lose control of the game. That was what we've been doing so poorly. We've been losing control of games without him on the field, you know. And Sarr helped to, you know, mend that when he came in after our game, after our five game on like no winning streak. But you know, Bentinck really just helped us. He didn't slow down. This is the thing difference with him. He controls the game, but he doesn't slow down our tempo. I feel like when we have a midfield of like Skip and Højbjerg, I kind of, you know, I don't hate them, but they are a little bit dumb and dumber in the middle of the park there. They slow us down. They slow us down a lot.
Them, but they're dumb and dumber.
No, I know what he's saying.
You can't control a game with them too, because what they do is, especially at a team as aggressive as Bournemouth, who have 48 hours more rest than us going into this game, you can't slow down. You can't let them dictate the game, and we didn't let that happen. Yeah, we soaked up a lot of pressure, and we defended very well, very well.
ARIAN, what is this calm demeanor that you're rocking? Your man Ben Davies just had a worldie of a performance. Speak to me about him. You must have been sitting there going, now. I told you. That's why I don't understand why you're not jumping around. I told you.
It's not a new thing for me anymore. You know, this is what I've been seeing. This is the potential I've been seeing, right? I've been believing. I've been a day oneer. I've been on the train since day one. All right, you guys are the only ones that are hopping on now.
Ben Davies' lifer over there.
Yeah. Seriously, I have a picture of him right there. Don't believe me? I'll show you in a minute.
I'm so pleased to hear that, because you know he's really kind of tarred with the same brush as Eric Dyer and Pierre Højbjerg and Skippy, and actually Ben Davies has proven this season that he is an unbelievable squad player. I think an unbelievable utility man and a great professional, and I can really see him getting a lot of game time as kind of the fourth centre back option for Ange in the next year or two.
If Ben Davies wanted, don't you think this, Aaron? Like, say you make a highlight reel of Ben Davies. Think about like the Conte game, Leeds, where we win the game, but they're in behind, and he makes that run across that Mickey van de Ven-esque run all the way back, and he clears the ball. You know, it's open goal, and he clears off the lane.
That was amazing. Yeah,
you can make a highlight reel of some of the stuff he's done this season.
Yeah,
he could be sold for a lot. Like, you know, he's older now, of course, but he could go to a team in the Prem for decent money.
Yeah.
He just had going. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's a boring ass name. I think that's Ben Davis. That's probably where it is. You know, Mickey van de Ven sounds exotic, right?
That's where it goes. Like make a flip on it. You know, Ben Drago.
Ben Drago Davison, yeah.
But no, I think, you know, he is the definition of a squad player. He can play so many roles to such a high standard. I think, he is. And I was saying, with Lloris leaving, he is now the longest serving current Spurs player.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, so he is. So he is.
Who else impressed you today, ARIAN?
For me, man of the match was Destiny Udogie. That was my man of the match. I think he was outstanding. You know, you could look at the forward play, you could look at Lo Celso, I think, for sure, but I think without Udogie, we aren't in that game. I think there was a lot of
they would have got
physicality.
How many times did he wipe the asses of other players? And it's not even Ben Davies. Like, Ben Davies is wiping the ass of Emerson, and he's coming across in case he used to cover him, you know? Beautiful stuff. At one point, I'm screaming out, he's still got the ball, and he's at the halfway line. He gets to the 15 yards more. He's still got the ball. He falls on the ground, and he gets up, and he's still got the ball. Unbelievable.
I was so frightened when he went down with cramp. I was so nervous. Never been so happy for someone to have cramp.
I hate when players do that. They start tapping their legs and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's his hamstring. And then 10 minutes later, he's still on the pitch, and he looks fresh as a daisy.
It was just the cramp. You know, if you ever had a cramp, especially after, oh my god, just those cramps must feel like the worst thing in the world. If you had a hamstring cramp, it feels like you've just torn your hamstring in 3 pieces.
I'm in my 40s now. When I get a cramp, that's 8 months out. All right, so
there you go. Okay, so.
So then, what's your big takeaway from the game? Like, it's 3-1. You never thought for a second, surely, that he called it 3-1. Barnaby was all over this. How did you feel coming into the game, and then walking away from it now? Where's your head at?
Well, yesterday I thought we were gonna get dog walked, honestly, and you know, without Bentancur, I honestly think we would have. You know, if I had, you know, because in my mind I thought, look, you know, I don't think, you know, best case scenario midfield's gonna be Skip, Højbjerg, Lascelles. So I feel like that is begging to get dominated. But what we saw was an impressive Bournemouth side. So, you know, 48 hours more rest, you know, this is an aggressive team. They pressed us into the floor, and we saw it happen. So I thought,
ARIAN, saying that though, did we not have one of our best patches of the game, kind of like later in the game where it looks like we're going to score again, where we're getting up the pitch?
Højbjerg, other than that time where he did that mad thing, and I'm going to get memed over my angry reaction, he actually gave us some control when he came in. He did okay, actually, Højbjerg. But you're absolutely right, I think, ARIAN. We needed Bentancur, and I'm just going to like show a little bit of like dangerous negativity here. I really hope that he hasn't that Ange hasn't gone to Bentancur. Can you just give us 60 minutes and take an injection? I really hope it's not like an injection like numb the injury for a game, because I want him to now be fit for the rest of the season. It's huge for us.
I honestly feel like it's a bit of the opposite. I feel like Bentancur is probably going to Ange saying, "But Gaffer, look, we need you. I want to play. I know we need some more." I feel like it's more of that than it is him trying to, you know.
Ange doesn't seem like that guy. I'm just being overly negative for no apparent reason.
Aaron,
I've got to ask. Got the Burnley Cup game coming up on Friday. I think all of the Spurs fan base are kind of together in wanting a cup run really badly this year.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Do you think Ange will play some players who haven't been getting minutes? Do you think this is when maybe Jamie Donnelly might get his chance? And if so, you know, is this actually a far more dangerous game, Burnley at home, than maybe some people are thinking?
I think it's probably more dangerous because it's a cup game, but I think there's no team in the Premier League that plays, you know, they play kamikaze football. I don't understand it, really. They
playing out the back.
They really do. They don't have the quality to play the way they do, and even the way they do, they're not even doing it right, in my opinion. I'm not particularly impressed by Burnley. I think, honestly, if Sheffield United had some slightly better players, they'd be above them in points as well. They're a very unimpressive side to me. They don't create much. Even though that's what they aim to do, they're not, and you know, they give up all the defensive fragilities of that system, and then they don't even compensate for it in any sort of attacking threat. They don't have any physicality to them whatsoever. I'm not impressed by them really at all. Now that I say that, we're going to lose 3-0. So it is what it is.
2-1 Burnley.
But I'm really not impressed.
Burnley on.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I should say, obviously, Hugo Lloris said goodbye to the club today. ARIAN, what are your thoughts on Hugo's time at the club?
Look, I mean, I think we all forget just quite how good he was because of kind of what happened towards the back end of last year. And the fact that his last game for us was the tragedy that was at St. James Park is upsetting. But, you know, I think he's definitely a club legend. 11 years. Probably the best goalkeeper we've had, definitely the best one in like the Premier League era. You know, I would say, you know, maybe only Pat Jennings is better. I'm not going to act like I was there to see what Pat Jennings was like, but just going off what people are saying, right? And you know, Pat Jennings played for Arsenal, so in my heart, Hugo is going to be up there. So he's definitely a club legend, one of the best goalkeepers of the last, just underrated goalkeeper, really, just because of how bad he was with his feet. People don't really quite realize how good he was at just shot stopping, a pure goalkeeper. So
he was an unbelievable shot stopper.
Unbelievable shot stopper.
Can I ask you your thoughts on Richarlison's performance today? Obviously, that's his 5th goal in 5 games. He missed an absolutely gilt-edged chance, but some would say actually the most important thing is how you bounce back from a disappointment like that, and he took the harder chance with aplomb.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look, when he missed his chance, his face was red. I don't know if anybody else noticed. I noticed his face was genuinely red. I saw he was pissed with himself. And I at that point, I was speaking to my dad. I was like, he's gonna score. He's gonna score. there's no doubt in my mind, unless he gets taken off. But if there's another chance, it's a goal because this guy was pissed. You could tell he was running more after that miss. I don't know if anybody. I felt like he was working harder. I love Richarlison. I've been on the Richarlison boat since the start of the season. I said under Ange, this is the player that will explode. And until you could tell since that surgery, you can actually trust his body. That guy is moving so much more freely. I love it. I've been singing his praises forever. I don't know if I've said it on here. I'm sure I have. Years ago, someone asked me 2 players you'd sign, as long-term Kane and Son replacements. I said Jota for Son, and I said Richarlison for Kane. Wow. That in terms of how their profile is, obviously it's a bit different, and Kane's the best striker in the world, so it's not level-wise the same. But my point is that in terms of how much I rate Richarlison, I've rated Richarlison for years. I think he's a fantastic player. I just love him as a striker, and I'm so happy to see him. He's captain my fantasy team, so I love him. I absolutely love him.
ARIAN,
and I'm sticking behind
you are going crazy here. I'm like, so how many goals did he get this season? I'm putting on his.
He's gotten. What is it? He's had 6. He's had 6 with 3 assists.
Is he 6 now?
6.
I trust Arian's stats profusely.
Sure.
All right. So how many do you think he's going to get then?
I would say he's going to get. How many games do you have left? We have 19 left.
I think I've said this week. I think he's going to get 15 league goals this season.
I was about to say the same thing. 15 league goals. I think I can
15.
See that.
Yeah, and
11 and 19
that would be a
for
career
sure.
best.
If you share, you got to assume that Son's on 13 already, so you're going to say that Son might get to 20, 35 between them. Brennan Johnson maybe pitching in with 3 or 4.
Kulu.
I want to talk about Brennan.
I think
Madison
can get 10 goals if he's playing for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk about Brennan. I think that guy's been getting so much stick for no reason. 22-year-old kid.
I don't get it either. You see the work he's putting in, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you see this, he's putting work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How many balls he put across first time on the run passes right to players' feet? That's not easy. Do people understand this?
It's not. No, people who don't realize how good he is just don't play the sport, and it's a very common theme with kind of what people say. The people like the World of Hotspurs of this world, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with who that is, but unfortunately, if you are, then if you're not, then I envy you. But they don't really understand any basic workings of this sport and any, whether it is how it's being run, or how it's being played, anything like that. The negativity is so unjustified. The kid's 22. He's had 5 goal involvements now since signing.
He's been a successful signature.
He has been, and he is our record signing, and all of our record signings with that much pressure have flopped. Besides now Richarlison and him under Ange. So we're putting all this pressure on these players, and they're coming through, and we're still not satisfied. He's a 22-year-old kid. Do we expect him to be Gareth Bale because he's Welsh? No, he's putting in some great performances. We've not had proper wingers for a while now, and we're having some now. Kulusevski and Brennan, these young players, young attacking players, and they're all performing, and we're all just giving them stick for no reason. I don't understand it. If he was going
don't get it either. Yeah, you're right.
And you have Man United fans. Hoyland just scored his first goal a week ago. They've been sticking with him ride or die. 1 goal in 15. 5 goal involvements from the wing in what is it now? In 15 appearances or something like that in terms of minutes, and we're getting on this kid's back for what?
I think in a couple of years' time, Brennan Johnson will be seen as an absolutely elite crosser of the ball, and everyone will know that.
I love him.
He's got the pace where he can get outside, but I think actually one thing that he may well end up developing is just that ability to take a touch and then get an early cross in. Because that delivery is De Bruyne-esque and Beckham-esque.
His touch, by the way, his first touch is ridiculous sometimes. There's been moments this season where he has.
When Kulu first came, the only criticism some people had of him was that his decision making on the ball, which I actually thought was quite good. But I could see that he was a little bit thinking ahead of the players around him. But with I think Brennan Johnson does the right thing most of the time. I don't see him make really bad decisions, like Højbjerg on the ball, give it to a guy with no leg. Didn't go the right way. But I actually think Brennan Johnson makes most of the time makes the right decisions.
He tries to play it quickly, and I think he does have that kind of similar thing actually to Kulu first, where he's kind of thinking ahead a little bit. But you can see that he is very much in sync. He's kind of doing as he's told, and it's working. I mean, this game, a lot of the chances came through him. This game because again, what people do a lot of the time, which I don't like, is they judge a player on only end product. And that's kind of what he's been facing the criticism for a while. And today he got the end product. But a lot of times he puts that cross in, not finished. Puts the cross in, it's not great. Shoots, doesn't score. And it's like sometimes not your day. But you look at the work this guy does off the ball. he is one of the best. You know, Kodo sometimes gets all the plaudits, and rightfully so, because he is one of the hardest working, probably the hardest working winger. But I don't think Brennan's far off. He is so insanely hard. The kid does not get. I've never seen Brennan actually get tired.
Yeah, it's only positives. And also the thing is, like, he's come from a team that's down the bottom. They play counter-attack football at best. Like, doesn't really, not used to this structure of like build up, where to move, how to be in certain positions. I also think he is someone that you could put in the center, and because he's got a good shot from central as well. So like, I think it's like loads of potentials. If he goes in the center and gets like 3 goals over the period when Sonny's away, we've like got a new player all of a sudden. You know,
ARIAN, thank you so much for calling in, mate. We've got a few more people coming on. It's quite a short show, so I'll speak to you after the Burnley game, I assume, and have a great New Year, mate.
Hopefully so. All right, Happy New Year to you guys too, and as always, come on, you Spurs!